Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I very welcome my friends and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. And if you're feeling charitable, please smash the subscribe button and the like button. And please do follow me on Twitter at MoviesTVMad. Welcome to Saturday's edition of the DCEU Daily. It's Saturday, so I ain't going to read any articles. I'm not going to do any rankings. We're just going to sit here for a short time, short video today, maybe, probably, don't know. Don't know how long it's going to be. Do you think I plan these things? Yeah, we're just going to talk about the DCEU and release the Snyder Cut and, of course, Zack Snyder's Justice League, all the same thing. Of course, why do you think that bloggers and the industry hate us? When I say us, I mean the fans that expose the industry. You've got to understand, for so many years now, Hollywood and the entertainment industry as a whole have had it their own way. They gave us, they fed us, and we swallowed. Mainly because what we were tasting was pretty good for the past 20, 30, 40 years. Then the culture war began, and we had real problems. And all of a sudden, the internet came to fruition. Now, they like to use the internet like a market stall. Buy this, follow this, buy this DVD, you know, there's a digital copy now, order this, download that. Most of these actors and actresses and producers are not here to be friends with us. They're there just to advertise and plug and make money. And, you know, they're there because their studios and television networks and channels tell them to be there. We all know that. But what's turned the whole situation around on its head is that we're using the internet to our advantage and we're exposing these people. I think that's the brilliance of the Snyder Cut and the campaign. Does anyone know what's happened to RT Snyder Cut? They've gone very quiet since early April, and there's events coming and there's been events, but they're nothing to do with it. I always felt that Zack was actually behind RT Snyder Cut. I'm just wondering why, if he is RT Snyder Cut, why they're not doing any more events. Is it over for our movement? I doubt it. Or has he been given the thumbs up and he's not doing anything anymore because he doesn't need to? Who knows? He did do the BVS shot-by-shot commentary, which was amazing over on Vero. I really enjoyed that day. Probably, I think, the most positive day we've had for a very long time. But let's get back to my point about why bloggers and the entertainment industry hate Zack Snyder, hate us, because we are doing something. Look, they always, as we talk about fan entitlement on this channel so many times, where they say we're not entitled to get what we want. I said the other day on this channel as well, what happened with Sonic changed everything, because that really upset the bloggers and other studios because it put them under pressure. What was it, Universal or whoever it was who made that decision when they released that CGI, version of Sonic, and it was bad. We all knew it was bad, and they knew it was bad. And it's not just about fans saying it's bad. It was bad. It looked nothing like Sonic. It was a bad rough cut of some VFX of a CGI character, a computer-generated character, and it wasn't good. In fact, when we go back to 2017 and we see what they did to Henry, his upper lip, that haunts me. But of course, we didn't see that in the trailer, because if we did, they would never have released the movie, and they would have had to have done something. Either, cancel the movie, quickly redo that shot. But they were so up against the gun, they couldn't. And so what's happened is this industry has been exposed. I think we need to talk about Warner Brothers and Hollywood right now. What Zack Snyder has done is unprecedented. He's literally, on a social media platform, exposed them for what they did to him. So he showed us pictures of his version of the film. He's spoken about characters that we didn't see in the theatrical cut. Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter. He knew we would be pumped by this information, and he knew it would expose Warner Brothers and what they did to him at the same time. But also, the thing that he wants the most is to force them, get them in a corner to make them release his cut of the movie. And I think we're going to get that. I think that's going to happen. So basically, the industry isn't very happy. And I'll tell you something else. You all know that I did that video months and months ago saying I was a fully fledged member of the Fandom Menace. Then I fell out with Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, and then I basically said, no, I'm not involved. And now I'm kind of in that position again where I'm thinking, when I see what some of these SJWs do and the hatred that's behind them, it's kind of tempting me to refollow the fandom menace again. I don't agree with their politics. I don't support Trump. I'm not a conservative. I'm not a right-winger. But a lot of the things they say are very, very true. And, you know, I've tried to kind of, if you like, play both sides. And when you look at both sides, you can see the problem is with SJWs, they think they're the goodies, right? When I was a kid, we used to play goodies and baddies. I always wanted to be the goodies. No one wanted to be the baddies. Now we don't know who the goodies and baddies are. Who are the goodies and the baddies in this culture war, right? Is it the SJW people in the entertainment industry who basically only want to represent beta males, and females, right? They don't like alpha males. But alpha males, boom, people like me, they don't like us, right? And I don't want to talk about Doctor Who on this video, but something very interesting happened yesterday. I should do a video about that later. But where we are now is that because of the push for the Snyder Cut, because Zack's movement, our movement, is so powerful, that's why they don't like us. That's why you're seeing producers mock us, mock the fandom, mock the Snyder Cut. Ryan Johnson's done it. Somebody else done it. You know, Joss Whedon himself was mocking us a couple of weeks ago. It's bitterness. It's fear. When you've got power for so many years, for eternity, then a group of heroes turn up, aka the Snyder Cut movement, along with Zack Snyder, and say, we've got an axe and we're going to knock this down. And now we're going to create a new world where everyone gets to say, where everyone gets to have an opinion. They're losing their power and they don't like it. And I spoke before as well, because of this global pandemic, they're in a lot of trouble. Now, we've already talked about on this channel how they're doing an SJW fully female-centered Star Wars TV show. So they're not learning their lesson. So they're going to continue to lose money. And as I say, when we get back from this global pandemic, and there is some good news there as well, apparently Hollywood studios are finding ways where they can go back to work and still social distance. Very good news. I'm very excited about this. Obviously, all scenes would have to be shot in a different way. For example, there could be no scenes of people embracing. There could be no scenes of people standing too close. But there's trickery you can do there as well. It's difficult. But I think they need to keep on making money and they need to get Hollywood back to work. And if they can come up with these rules and health and safety and the World Health Organization or whoever's in charge of these things says, do you know what? That's safe, right? Or whatever they're going to do. If they can get back to work and start making movies and TV shows, I'm down with that. So that's going to happen. But what we are now a threat to the structure of Hollywood. That's how big it is. I don't think people understand how powerful we have become. And it's important not to become arrogant with that power. Don't become what the entertainment industry has become. Do you really think Ron Howard's daughter was the best person to direct an episode of The Mandalorian? No! She directed an episode of The Mandalorian because she's Ron Howard's daughter. Hollywood isn't about the cream going to the top. It's about if you've got the right surname, if you're related to the right person, if you have the right mummy and daddy. That's how you get work in Hollywood. And they'll baby you and they'll put a bottle in your mouth and make sure you get the job done and you look like the best creative ever, the best person for the job. But very rarely does the talent and the cream rise to the top in Hollywood. Hollywood is a broken system. Now, I think people like the Fandom Menace and the Release the Snyder Cut movement are breaking these walls down so we can have a better entertainment industry. We talk about Me Too and Time's Up. Now, a couple of groups like that should be good, should change Hollywood forever. But you know what? They're part of that infrastructure. So on the one hand, they're trying to stop, or they say they want to stop sexual harassment and sexual crimes against women, mostly, right? But they are the same people and the same members of the industry. They're part of the inside. So those organisations don't work as they should. Now, these problems in Hollywood have been going for over 100 years. It's nothing new. But I just think it's amazing, and I just wanted to talk today about how the Release the Snyder Cut movement is breaking the established order of Hollywood. And when it's announced, when it's announced that the Snyder Cut will be released and we've won, it's important our reaction is humble, because we are going to win. But all we ever wanted to win was justice for Zack and Deb and Autumn, because they used her name as justification for moving this guy on, driving him off the project. So Autumn deserves her justice as well, right? Using somebody's child's death as a justification, saying the guy had to go, and that he brought in Joss Whedon himself. They even forced Zack to say that. Think about it. Think about it. So all of a sudden, the whole thing is turned around on its head. And we're about to win. And they hate that. They hate the fact that they have to release this cut, even though it's going to make them millions and millions, maybe $1 billion. Who knows what this film can do with the way Zack's marketed it via Vero, right? And even doing a few things on Twitter as well. He's a very clever man. He's turned the situation around on its head. He's turned Hollywood around. This was a little man who was never supposed to say boo to a goose. He was supposed to be punished for being unique and different and talented. As I say, it's all about what your surname is and who you're related to. And with Zack, they thought they could dump him and get away with it. But they hadn't dealt with this man before. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know what was going to happen. They regret the day. Not only did they employ him as part of the dceu, but they regret the day they messed with him and they messed with us. They tried to sell us a lemon and make $1 billion out of it. Outrageous. How dare they? They won't be doing that again. They'll be behaving more and more. And the more the consumer and good people within the industry fight back, the more fairer a place the Hollywood and the outer entertainment system will become. Comment down below. Like, share and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. See you again soon.